All right, everybody. If you want to take your seats or your positions, we'll get this underway here. I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is a special day for downtown Milwaukee and for the continued legacy of our friend and teammate, Bob Uecker. We've always said that Ueck's legacy would echo forever, especially in this community and in the baseball community. And this behind me is one of those echoes. We also always said that Bob was larger than life, and now he literally is exactly that. I want to take a moment to recognize the Uecker family who is here with us today, Bob Jr. and his wife, Kathy. His daughter, Sue Uecker, is here as well. Judy Uecker is here to my right as well. And his grandchildren and great-grandchildren are here with us today also. The family has shared with me a statement that they would like me to read on their behalf. They're in attendance here today, and they wanted to pass along a big thank you to Matt Dorner and the entire team at Business Improvement District 21, and Mark Flaherty and the rest of the ownership group at Jackson Street Holdings for reaching out late last year and bringing this project to fruition. They would also like to thank the ownership group of the Wintrust Financial Center, the Westin Milwaukee, We Energies Foundation, Milwaukee Downtown, Bid 21, and Visit Milwaukee for their support in commissioning this project, along with Tyler Barnes and the Brewers for their collaboration and input on the mural design. Most importantly, the Uecker family would like to express their heartfelt gratitude to Mauricio Ramirez for all of his hard work, his thoughtfulness, and his attention to detail in creating this incredible piece of artwork. Mauricio, you are a very talented artist, and Ueck would be humbled and so proud of what you've accomplished here. Your work will be enjoyed by many who call the Milwaukee area home and those who visit the city for years to come. It is a great representation of the unique relationship Bob had with the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin. Thank you, Mauricio. Also want to acknowledge some important people that are here with us today. From the Brewers, we have Brewers President Rick Schlesinger, General Manager and President of Baseball Operations Matt Arnold is here with us, Brewers Manager Pat Murphy, and the Captain Christian Yelich. We also have with us today Bob's longtime partner, Josh Maurer is here, who shared the booth with Bob for 3 years. And his producer and engineer for 39 years, Kent Sommerfeld, is here with us somewhere. Where's Kent? There he is. Wearing the likeness on his t-shirt, as it should be. And Sophia Menert from Brewers TV is here with us as well. Great to have you, Sophia. And a special thank you to some of Bob's close friends that are here today that were such a big part of his life. Randy Olowinski, Tony Miggs, Tony Miliaccio, and Roger Kaplinger. Also want to say thank you to Molson Coors for the beer donation, and a note that we will be toasting at the end of the program here today. So with that being said, let's get this underway. And here to say a few words, our fine Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
All right, well, good afternoon, Milwaukee. Good afternoon, Brewers fans. And most importantly, good afternoon to fans of Mr. Baseball himself, Bob Uecker. It is an extreme honor to be here as we unveil this remarkable tribute to one of Milwaukee's greatest icons, once again, Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker. Now, Mauricio, man, he's right here. You guys, if you get the chance to see him, shake his hand, please thank him, because didn't he do a great job? This is outstanding. This is outstanding. And it doesn't stop here. If you're a fan of this, when you're making your way throughout Milwaukee, whether you're taking a bus or a streetcar, you're driving, you're walking, you're on a bike, it doesn't matter. You're making your way across the city. You're going to see Mauricio's incredible murals all over the city. We thank, yes, give him a round of applause. Outstanding work. Outstanding. This city is his canvas, basically. And we thank him for his really incredible artistic talent in making Milwaukee more vibrant across neighborhoods all over the city. Today, we're not just unveiling a mural. We're celebrating a man who is quite literally larger than life. His voice, his humor, his heart, all of those things became a part of us. They all became a part of Milwaukee. So whether you were at the ballpark, whether you were listening to him on the radio, whether you were watching him on TV, he made everybody feel, every single person feel like they were a part of the game. Bob reminded us that baseball is about more than just wins and losses. Baseball is about family. It's about community. It's about tailgating. It's about drinking the Miller Lite and eating a Usinger brat and celebrating memories that last a lifetime, especially now, as we get ready to celebrate the 250th anniversary of our country. What better way to honor America with America's pastime, baseball, and Mr. Baseball. Bob often joked, I must be in the front row. The truth is, he gave all of us, each and every single one of us, a front row seat. Through his storytelling, his laughter, his unmistakable voice, he brought people together across neighborhoods. Bob brought people together across generations. He brought people together across backgrounds that will never, ever, ever be forgotten in Milwaukee. So I want to thank all of the partners that worked to make this vision a reality. Mauricio, whose talent created another I want to thank Mauricio, whose talent came together to create another iconic Milwaukee landmark. And, of course, the Uecker family. Please give them another round of applause. The Uecker family who, through many, many years shared Bob with all of us. All of our lives are richer because his family shared him with us for so many years. So thank you, and I want to introduce one of the partners that helped to make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Matt Dorner, the leader of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Matt, come on up.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here today. This incredible turnout on such a warm day is really a testament to just how much this community loves Bob Uecker and how deeply his legacy resonates throughout Milwaukee and beyond. My name is Matt Dorner, and I have the privilege of serving as the CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Business Improvement District number 21. Our mission is to make downtown Milwaukee the premier place to live, work, invest, and visit. And we do this through a variety of our initiatives, but also through partnering with many of our stakeholders to create vibrant spaces and celebrate the people and the places that make Milwaukee unique and special. And today is about celebrating one of Milwaukee's greatest. Bob Uecker wasn't just the voice of the Brewers, he was the voice of Milwaukee and Wisconsin. It's only fitting that his legacy now has a permanent home in downtown Milwaukee. I'd like to just take a quick little moment to share how this project came to life, because it's really a great example of what can happen when the right partners come together with a shared vision. As mentioned, late last year, one of the building owners, Mark Flaherty, stopped by our office with an idea to honor Bob Uecker, and he knew he had the perfect canvas. From there, things moved quickly. We met again with Mark and his business partners, Randy Uecker and Jack Hoffman, to map everything out. Yes, absolutely. Then we sat down with Bob Uecker Jr. and his wife Kathy Uecker to make sure that the tribute would truly reflect Bob in the right way. Next came conversations with the Brewers. And we continued to build momentum, and after a few rounds of creative collaboration with the incredibly talented Mauricio Ramirez, we had a final design that you can see in front of you today. And more to come on Mauricio in a moment. But this is the kind of collaboration that makes our downtown and community special. I want to say a very special thank you to the ownership group of the Wintrust Financial Center. Thank you, Mark, Randy, and Jack, for your generosity, your vision, and your financial support of this important project. This mural simply would not be here without your commitment and continued investment in downtown Milwaukee and creating something lasting for our community. I'd like to also thank the Westin Milwaukee, We Energies, and Visit Milwaukee for joining us as supporting sponsors and making this vision a reality. Also, a thank you to Pentagon Property Management and Van Buren Management for your coordination throughout the entire process and allowing us to take over this space today for this great celebration. I also want to thank my incredible team at Milwaukee Downtown for the tireless work on every element of this project, but your work day in and day out to make downtown Milwaukee shine. And thank you to our board of directors, many of which are here today. Your dedication to downtown and understanding how important projects like this are to continue in our upward momentum is of utmost importance. Thank you very much. Absolutely. And when we first heard about the idea for the mural, we immediately knew who the artist had to be. Mauricio Ramirez has become one of Milwaukee's defining muralists. His works can be found out throughout downtown and across our city, transforming buildings into landmarks and celebrating our culture, history, and people. I think Mauricio's done about 30 murals across Milwaukee, many of which are located right in the heart of our city. This mural is more than public art. It's another destination in downtown, another reason for people to explore our city, patronize our businesses, and another reminder of someone who brought joy to millions while always proudly representing Milwaukee. Today, thanks to the vision of our partners and Mauricio's incredible talent, Bob's legacy has a permanent home right here in the heart of the city. Now I'd like to welcome up Mauricio Ramirez, the artist that once again elevated downtown's art scene with this incredible work. Come on up, Mauricio. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for showing up. I've painted all over the country for the past 10 to 15 years, and I have to say Milwaukee's my favorite city to paint in. The way you guys appreciate public art and the way you guys have this relationship with sports, site-specific sports, and the Brewers, the Bucks, everybody, and the way that we could connect public art with the Brewers, and today Bob Uecker, and it's just the biggest joy for me to be able to be part of this project. So I just wanted to give a couple of thank yous to obviously Mark, Randy, and Jack for trusting me, the Uecker family for trusting me, Milwaukee Downtown, and the other stakeholders, Wisconsin Energies, Visit Milwaukee, the Westin Marriott. But ultimately, this is what I love to do. When I was working on this project, I couldn't wait to start the next day. I would go to bed, like it was Christmas, because I knew the next day would be a full day full of painting and full day of doing what I love to do and just making everyone proud. And ultimately, I think these projects just show how we care for our communities and the things that actually mean something to us. And for me to be a part of this just makes my heart, full of joy. And being able to share my abilities with the world and inspire the next generation of artists also makes me really proud to do what I do. Thank you. And obviously, I couldn't have done this myself. Matt explained how the process went. It was a collaboration between myself, the Uecker family, and some of the stakeholders within the project. And honestly, I think that's the best way because it's able to kind of share different perspectives on an art project and have a bunch of different set of eyes to just give it the best, presentation. in terms of the design. And I had a really good friend, Armand Gonzalez, who helped me blow this image up to 100 feet by 80 feet. He's my graphic designer. I had a local painting company here, LeBrant and Associates, who helped me power wash and prime the wall to ultimately help me set up the wall. And, you know, my good trusty, you know, art assistants, Austin Ronsky, you know, my cousin Alex Vasquez, and just really kind of were the hands behind it. But I just wanted to give them thanks and, you know, just letting you guys know it wasn't just me. It takes a village, really. So just thank them, really, if you see them out and stuff. But at the end of the day, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's been involved. And, you know, it's just an honor to have this relationship with Bob Uecker through this mural and forever, you know, pretty much, you know, until however long this mural lasts, you know, 20, 30 years, you know, until the next touch-up. But that's all I wanted to really say. So.
All right, at this time we'll bring our panel up onto the stage. So Matt and Rick, Murph and Yelly.
All right. Hopefully that's the only time that does that.
Is this one working? All right, let's do this one. All right, the four of you all had a great opportunity over the course of your time with the Brewers to get to know Uke in a lot of different ways. And I want to start with Murph because you spent nearly a decade with Uke, and you had a chance to see him interact with the guys in the clubhouse and how powerful he was within the walls of that clubhouse. What was it about him, Murph, that you think helped him connect so well with players that were generations younger than him?
You know, I don't think anybody, you know, when they met Uke, they were in awe, of course. But he was so authentic. You'd never know he was a Hall of Famer. If you were a bystander watching this interaction, he was truly interested in the players. He really cared about them. He remembered things. It didn't matter if you were at Yelly status or you were a kid just brought up from AAA. He was at home in that clubhouse, and he knew that was his family year in and year out, that he was part of the group. And I can't tell you the way the guys felt. You know, something interesting in 2024, we lost to the Mets in the playoffs in a devastating fashion. And after that game, everybody was sad. But the sadness then turned to what we probably knew was Uke's last game. And we sat there till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Just the Mets loss was gone by midnight, but it was all about Uke for the next 4 hours. And it's just a tribute to who he was and what he meant to this group.
And Rick, when you think about Uke, I mean, you've been with the organization for over 20 years. You got a chance to know Uke over your time. He was so loyal to the organization and charitable too. And that's one of those things, I think people understand that, but there's a whole story to tell in that regard too.
Yeah, I mean, loyalty was his brand. He had been offered opportunities to go national, to do things, to work for other teams. I know George Steinbrenner of the Yankees kept trying to poach him. Milwaukee was his home and his love, and he never left us. The man was very charitable. He got postseason bonuses. Christian and his teammates voted in full shares, which is, depending how deep you go, it can be a lot of money. And he would instantly donate it to causes that he cared about. He was a huge supporter of Make-A-Wish, military veterans. He did a lot of things behind the scenes. It wasn't about his brand. It wasn't about his name recognition. He did it anonymously, but he cared about people, and he showed it in meaningful ways.
Matt, you were in the clubhouse for so many postseason celebrations, wild card clinches, divisional clinches, series clinchers. What was it like to share those moments with you, and what are those memories going to be like for you for the rest of your life?
Yeah, incredible. I mean, I got to bond with him in so many different ways, including getting showered with all kinds of champagne and going nuts together. But I started my career as a scout, and actually Bob did as well, and got to bond over scouting in a lot of ways and spent a lot of minutes together. And, one of the things that he taught me, one of the biggest lessons that I learned was that it's not just about the talent, it's about the person. And Bob was so special about that. When you could layer the talent together with the right person, you end up with people like Christian Yelich in your clubhouse and the culture that you can build around. I think Bob was so special in that regard, because Murph still talks about this all the time, about how we play the game. The way we go about our business is something that, is just a testament to Bob's legacy and who he was.
Wonderful touch on the shoes today as well, Arnie, by the way.
The Uke shoes.
a
Shout
round
out
of
to
applause
Uke and the
for those
shoes. So.
There's a documentary coming out in a couple of weeks, and hopefully you'll all have the chance to go see it. Without giving too much away, there's some really powerful scenes between Uke and Yelly. And you two had such an incredible bond, Christian. It was really incredible to see from a distance and from up close as one of Uke's broadcast partners. How often do you think back, Yelly, at that day in January when you jumped on a plane in Arizona with Mark Attanasio and Robin Yount and Bob Uecker and flew to Milwaukee? Your head is spinning. You just got traded to a new organization. And think about the friendship you were going to form with Uke that you probably didn't understand you were going to form on that day. Do you reflect on that?
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time I had met Uke, and yeah, I didn't know how close we'd become and how good of friends we'd become that day on the plane, and meeting him, Robin, Mark, Bronny, bunch of people for the first time. I'd been a Brewer for probably 2 days at the time, and was just trying to make new friends and get to know where I was going to be for the next year. Everything was happening pretty fast, but it was special to get to know Uke over the years and get to see him, in his environment, just with the guys hanging out, telling stories, getting to be himself. And that was the special stuff, just getting to be around him and go to dinners and be his friend and just hear about his life and his experiences and all the things he got to do, not only in baseball, but, outside of it with some of the acting stuff and, the Tonight Show and astronauts calling him and presidents calling him and all kinds of crazy stuff that he got to do. And it was just a privilege to get to hear it. And I'm sure that's a pretty familiar story with everybody that got to be with him and be around him.
And Yelly, Murph mentioned it, that Uke didn't care if you were an MVP or the guy that just got called up. And sometimes he was at his best when a guy was going through it a little bit, as a sounding board for players that were maybe going through some struggles. He always seemed to be at his best when he talked to those guys. Did you notice that too?
Yeah, I mean, he always had players' backs, right? Like, he understood how hard the game was, how much you struggle in the game. That's kind of who he was as a player. It was just, he understood the grind and how hard that it was to be successful in baseball. So when guys were struggling or going through it or having a bit of a tough stretch, he'd always come around, tell you had your back, and crack a joke, maybe go into Harry Doyle from Major League sometimes, or who knows what he did. But he'd always lighten the mood and just hang out. And whether it was me or somebody like everyone said up here that just got called up, he'd ask you how your family was, your background. He'd know everything about you the first day that you showed up, and he just really enjoyed being one of the guys and being around the team.
Well, thank you, Yelly, and thank you to all of our panel for joining us here on stage. We are going to clear the stage now, and we're going to get ready for a toast. So we will be distributing beverages for a toast to Uke. And just a quick reminder as well that at the conclusion, Mauricio is going to sign. So for media, you'll be able to come up closer and get some images of Mauricio signing the mural. And he's also going to be throwing out the first pitch tonight for the Brewers game against the Reds. So no pressure. We wish you luck. All right, let's toast Uke. Very quickly, there's only ever been one. There only ever will be one, our friend and teammate, and the forever face and voice of the Milwaukee Brewers. To you. With that being said, let's eat some food, too. Lunch giveaway back at this back tent. That is open now to the first 500. So thank you so much to everybody for coming out, and to WLUK.